Hey, welcome to Making It Work, the second dumbest channel on YouTube. Just kidding. How you doing? I'm Jimmy. We're fixing to spend a day in the shop once I get it opened up. Got a lot going on. It's been pretty busy. We got a 69 Mustang with the carburetor off of it. If you watched yesterday's video, pretty busy day. We got a lot done. We're gonna see what we can get done today, that's for sure. I know we'll learn a thing or two, we'll have some fun. And I am paddling my butt off, in case you haven't noticed. Although I'm trying to stay chipper, keep a positive outlook. Some days it's harder than others. But for the most part, I'm almost always in a good mood. I have little 5 and 10 minute spats where I have to edit it out, that's all. There's nothing wrong with that. You'd probably do the same if you were filming your day at work, right? When you, like the video where the guy takes the monitor and is smashing it into the printer because you can't get the printer to print what's on the monitor. Some days you have those days. But what you got to do is make the best of every day no matter what. Because even when you think you're having a tough day, someone's having a lot tougher, so it's not that bad. It always turns back around. You just got to keep rowing. Let's finish getting this place open up. Stop flapping. We've got a beautiful 72-degree morning. It's probably going to be close to 90 today. A little warm, but that's what we call spring in Florida. Let's get this place open and get started. Stay tuned. Oh, this car might look familiar. She's a no run too good. This is the car that was on the back rack for 3 months, and we put turbos and valve cover gaskets and oil pan gaskets and stuff on it. And the mechanic that did it doesn't work here anymore. So it's running rough. Check engine light's on. We're gonna figure out why. It feels like it's running pretty bad. Let's get the Phoenix Light 2 on it. Oh man, this thing should be blinking to check engine light. It's running bad. It's not really funny. Haven't used the Phoenix Light 2 in a while. I had it in sleep mode and it still didn't go dead. It sat in my toolbox for about 2 weeks. That's pretty cool. Some people have asked me, what's your favorite scan tool? This is it. This costs about twice as much as some of my others. It's a great scan tool. Let's get this tucked to the Beamer. I know I'm gonna have to go under the hood for something. And the whole car is going like that. I got parts coming for this Escape over here that's got a leaking turbo oil line we caught during an oil change. And you gotta remove the turbo, I believe, on that to do it. So we got lines coming for that. Another BMW coolant leak. And the BMW not running good. So let's get these two talking like I said earlier, and we'll come back, take a look at the codes, and we'll know where to look under the hood when we get out there. Might as well go ahead and look in all the modules. Alright, let's share the report. It's gonna be misfire codes. I want to know what cylinder. Could be these coils, I think, on this engine, they just push in, so they could have popped out. Could be a connector's not on all the way. Hopefully something simple, because this customer spent a lot of money and waited very patiently while we got parts from Germany and all kinds of stuff. Cylinder 4, cylinder 3. Several cylinders damaging exhaust gas after starting. So I'm going to go back out, go in the ECM directly. We're going to verify which cylinder is missing the worst, because it'll flag multiple cylinders if one's misfiring this bad. Misfire, select all. We got some misfires. Look at that thing. Cylinder 1, 3, and 4 seem to be the worst. It's interesting. Doesn't look like live data though. I want to see live data if I can. Why would it not show me live data? Let's just get under the hood. Alright, took that engine cover off so I can see under here. It's held on with 4 little Allen bolts. The number 1 coil's not on there, right? But that one's not misfiring. Kind of strange. I'm gonna let it cool about 10 minutes and pull number 3 coil out. We'll take a look at the spark plug. It's running like it's got a dead cylinder. So either a coil is not firing or maybe burned through. Might have nothing to do with any of the repairs, but we'll see. Once it cools about 10 minutes. Flip that little lever up. The coil just pops out of there, and it smells like gas. Like the coil's not firing. It's kind of strange. I'm gonna switch the coil with cylinder 1, and we'll see how it does then. That misfire data not looking live is kind of strange too, but let's see what happens before we worry about that. Takes the 12.14 millimeters socket, switching the plugs and the coils, and we'll see where the misfire codes come from. Now you got to be careful too. These what's weird about the way BMW does this is the spark plug tube and the spark plug are like this. They're not dead straight, so you have to use a a wobbly extension for best results. Something to note if you're tuning one of these up. That's why even the coil has a little angle to it. Let's start it up, see how it does. I'm going to put this cover back on because these two lines, I don't think they're vacuum because this is just a breather, but I want to hook them back up, so I'm just going to lay it on without the bolts and we'll start it up. Joe's got one too, BMW. Turb skis are out left and right. Let's see here. Soft closed doors, very fancy. Why did I lose my... oh, I shut the ignition off, that's right. I'm gonna get these talking before oh, I'm not doing the updates yet. Sometimes they take a minute. See what the misfires look like without the engine running. See if they're zeroed. That would be helpful if they are, but we'll see. Operational smoothness values is another one we can look at if we need to. Select all, okay. Nope, it does not clear out the data. Alright, we'll have to see if it counts up, that's all. Cylinder 4 is certainly counting up. Maybe I should have gone after that instead of 3. Whoop, something's happening. Hang on. Drivetrain malfunction. And we'll come back once it flags the cylinder up. I may need to go on 4 that's under some of those plastic ducts, which means taking some clamps off and stuff. I'm trying to figure out whether they're dealing with ignition, injection, or mechanical problem without taking too much stuff apart. But we may have to go to the number 4 because it looked like I saw some cylinder misfires there. But right now, none. I'll give it a minute. I'll be right back. I couldn't get it to do it, so I gave up and went to smoothness values. You see these are all minusing slightly. The cylinder 4 is plus, the others are minus. So let's go to cylinder 4 next. I'm going to switch another coil with that one too. I'm going to get the spark plug out. Look at that. I'm going to get a longer extension as well. Spark plug doesn't look too good, but it's not. The others were more wet and smelled like gas. That's kind of strange. Maybe the injector's not firing. I'm gonna look at it for carbon tracking, which I don't see. Move that coil, and then I'll take a look and see if the injector's injectoring. Alright, I gotta get a locking extension to get my socket back. That's a little better. Get the other coil on there. Take a real close look at the injector. And then we'll fire it up again. Customer's waiting, by the way. Alright, cylinder 4, we moved that coil to number 1. Now I've got number 3 in the positive and the rest of them in the negative. Number 3 is a little bit of correction too. This thing might just have a bad coil. I know one thing, I'll save a lot of time if I just put a coil in it and see. I think that's what we're going to try. I was leaning towards injector because with the coil not firing at all, the plug will usually have a little fuel on it. But if it fires intermittently, it'll just look like it's slightly richer than the other cylinders. It's kind of harder to tell. So I'm just going to put a coil in it and see. Shotgun Auto Services. Alright, I made a couple shorts about this car because I find it funny. And it'll be even funnier, we'll get mad in the comments, but this is not how you do stuff. And using your puddle jumper air inlet system to hold your battery, not a good idea. You see this thing? One good rainstorm needs an engine. I just hate seeing that. I'm like, leave it, just leave the stock air filter on. Not as loud. It's also got no muffler on. All the stuff that you, if you buy one of these, you have to do that stuff. Otherwise, your friends will make fun of you. So, but he has no AC. And it looks like it's got a new compressor and belt on it and stuff. It looks like the high side hose is leaking. It's got dye all over the hose, but there's some refrigerant in it, so we're gonna fire it up, see what happens with the pressure wars. 2010 Honda Civic. Is that factory? It looks aftermarket. It's hard to tell, but pretty well done if it's aftermarket though. Check engine lights on, maintenance lights on, airbag lights on. Got some sweet new LEDs. All right, let's turn on the AC and stop horsing around. I'm guessing it's gonna be low on refrigerant because the high side hose, I looked at it earlier with my stream light, which is nice and bright. It's all green. I don't even need the dye light to see it, but let's go look at the pressures. I'm guessing it's gonna be low. It doesn't take much refrigerant when it's warm out for the pressures to look like they're decent, but yeah, this is low. So what's happening is high side line, since I can see it's all yellow without even getting my glasses, that hose is leaking. I don't see anything anywhere else. We'll go ahead and let them know about that and see what he's gonna do. I don't know who put the compressor on. I don't think we did. The car doesn't look familiar to me. So we'll see what happens with this one. I just wanted to show you real quick because I made a couple shorts about it. Nothing too exciting. Just teasing a little bit. Relax, laugh a little, have fun. Life is short. Oh, look at these things. We got some Bosch curls. I'm gonna pop these in real quick. You already see me take them in and out a couple times. I'm gonna put them in. We'll go in and see how it runs. Nope, didn't fix it. I was afraid of that. Well, that's a bummer. I'm gonna still make sure it's on the same cylinder and there's not something else going on with another cylinder. He's still in there waiting too. We got the 2 coils. I popped them in. I'm just shotgunning it, hoping, because it looked like when I moved it, it moved the correction data I showed you. Let me get this plugged back in. We'll make sure it's the same cylinder causing trouble. Man, the codes now are 4, 1, and 3. It didn't have 1. I moved that coil, and now it has 1. That's very strange. Data stream, smoothness values, select all. 1 still in the positive. 3 just barely in the positive. I put the coils on 3 and 4. 4 hasn't flagged on the positive for smoothness values since doing that, but let's go in here to misfire. Okay, now it's showing you something's going on in 3. It's hard to catch on the digital data PID, but on the graph, that's why I always use graph. It tends to give you a better idea because it's a bigger span of time. When you're looking at those little data PIDs, you're hoping to catch it. So even if you would miss it, it's still going to correct in another second or 2 and show you an adjustment. So cylinder 3 seems to be our culprit for the most part. Even though I had correction data for smoothness values on other cylinders, sometimes it's just trying to get the engine to run smooth with a misfiring cylinder and doing things in other cylinders to get it done. So let's focus on 3, see if we can test injectors and stuff and see what's going on with that. We know it's not those coils. I'm going to pop them back out. All right, getting sketchy now. We're going to do a compression test real quick before I even test the injector side. I know if it's not spark and it's got compression, it's got to be the injector, right? If it's got some good compression, then we'll put a little scope in the injector, look at some injector data too, see if we can pinpoint it. I'm going to crank it real quick. You stay here. Alright, we got compression. Screwing a mirror on my borescope camera. I'm going to see if that injector's leaking. The most common failures for these are leaking injectors. But usually you'd be accompanied by a fuel trim concern or fuel trim code. But we're not seeing that. But I want to try this real quick. Got the plug back out. We'll go down in the hole, see if the injector looks like it's dripping. It's supposed to be completely dry. It's in the combustion chamber burner with the spark plug. And the spark plug definitely has a little bit of a wetness to it. That's why I thought it was ignition. But Could be headed for an injector that's actually spraying too much gas, which would be very unusual to not have fuel trims, but like I said about 3 times now, I want to try it. And then we'll put the scope on it. These injectors run like 160 volts as a step-up converter, DC to DC converter, because they're high pressure. So I gotta put my attenuator on the scope and maybe do that if this looks okay, it's not dripping. I can see the mirror. I can't really see what I was hoping to see. Mirror is not very good, let's put it that way. Let's just try it without the mirror a second. Here's you guys. Alright, stop wasting time and just see if we can hook our scope up. Alright, we got Leo Love fired up. We're going to start it up. I'm going to read the number 2 injector first, and then we'll compare 2 and 3. Checking the coil, make sure it's firing the coil. Getting a lot of interference. My ground pretty good. It's more like what you'd expect to see. 500 microseconds, but I know it's firing the coil. Try the injector. It's going to have all different measurements, but it should be in the ballpark. Drastically increase my time to 100 milliseconds. Down to 5 volts because we got the attenuator on there for the injector. That's number 1. Getting a connection in here without piercing the wire. So it's firing that injector too. But it seems to me like the injector's not responding because I don't have a good fire on the cylinder. I got good spark. I moved the plug, the coil, even threw a coil in it just to see. That's part of the test. Got compression, you saw that. It's got to have a problem with the injector. The computer's trying to fire it, nothing's happening. So that's where we're headed next. I think it's not too much of a catastrophe to swap injectors too. We could also try that. Let's see what they want to do. Ford Escape, turbocharger oil feed hose, and some miscellaneous pieces of cardboard. What are they for? Does anybody know? Must be to keep it dry, I'm guessing. They say you got to take the turbo off to do this. It's in the back. It goes from the block to the top of the turbo. We're going to see if we really have to take the turbo off or not. We'll do whatever we got to do. That's the oil leak. Clamp down there, hold down here. Little hose connection back here and up here. I'm going to take that whole piece out of the way just to make it easier to get back there. Then I got to take the heat shield off, and then I'll have an idea whether I really have to take the whole turbo off or not. I think the nut was supposed to come off of that. That's why I left the wiper cowl off. Well, for a second there, I thought you were throwing up. Let's get a little safety applique on the turbo. Can almost see stuff back there. We're getting some stuff out of the way. We got the car up in the air. We got the splash shield down. There's like 4 different kinds of screws on it, but probably because so many have been lost. Every time you do an oil change in this car, you gotta take it off, I guess. It looks like there's a hole there, but that hole's for the, they got a hole so you can get the motor mount out if you need to, but to do the oil change, you gotta take it off. So alright, get this heat shield off of here and we'll see what we can see. That thing sounded more serious than your average chopper. I had to take this coolant hose. I think I gotta take this other coolant hose off too, because it doesn't let you get the heat shield out of your way to even look at the oil feed line. think I can see my nuts. Want to see them? They're right there and there. At least I hope they were. I'm not sure if I had you on screen or not, but I think we're going to be okay. Don't count your chickens yet. They're not bunnies. Alright, that's the line on the Turbski. We're going to get that off first. And then there's an 8 over here, which I think I can put this socket on. Now it's easier to find the socket than the bolt. Where you at? There you are. You gotta get it to come out of that. Port in the head's a pretty good fit. It's double O-ringed. So now I gotta get this flange to come out of the head. I'll put a little clean oil on those. They feel a little dry. There'll be oil on the old ones when I take them out, or I can grab some oil from a container. Just a tiny bit. These washers are kind of locked in place. Let's see if I can get this out of the head. And I cleaned this all off with brake clean before I started working on it, so we're good to go. The good thing is the new hose is kind of stiff, so it should kind of put itself in the right place, I hope. Get that bolt in there, and I'm not going to tighten it until I get the turbo side on. Probably gotta do what we call finagling the business, get this to cooperate a little bit. Get the other side started. Alright. Let's see here. 8mm. And I snugged up the 13 side. I got to get a torque wrench for that. I got bad news. You're not fitting a torque wrench down in there. It's 19 foot-pounds. Do your best. That's what I'm saying. Now before we put the heat shield back on, we're going to clean that area real good. We just spilled a little oil adding to the oil leak it had. I'm going to put this back in next. This is the only bolt that's hard to get to. It's right next to where the oil feed line is. And she can give you a hard time, but eventually she'll cooperate. That's the good news. Making sure these coolant lines is tight. There's two of them. One right below the other. Alright. Now I got to tighten the 10mm on that bracket. Already got my cam solenoid and my plastic clipper doodle back. Heat shield's tight. I think I can remove my rag, put my air duct in, start getting some coolant in this thing. Yeah, well, they're easy to put back together without this stud jammed up the way it is. Yeah.
Honda's not gonna do anything.
Alright. I'm gonna button her up momentarily. Thanks, sir. Forgot the clamps are 7 on this. We get it. Very important clamp. It's an inlet clamp, but still. They're all important, really. Get these all buttoned up. Coolant. Oh, I gotta tighten. I loosened the clamp over here. Gotta tighten that. Yeah, that's the clamp that's 8mm. I knew one of them was. Put that wiper cowl on. That's pretty straightforward, really. I took it off yesterday to do the battery, and then they approved the oil line leaking, so I left that all off because I had just put a battery, and I didn't film it because batteries are boring, although maybe this one not so much. You guys kicked my light over? That's not cool. Well, let's tighten them up and see. There goes nothing. Firing hole. Alright, got to get it warm enough to get the thermostat to open. Although we didn't drain it completely, so it shouldn't be a problem. Oil's full. We just changed it. Make sure it's not leaking. If it runs a little while, we'll take it for a drive. We'll see what's next. Almost everything I looked at this morning backed out so far. This one's from a day or two ago. The comeback BMW we got. Although I don't see anything done wrong. Just something happened to an injector or something, it looks like. I think we got an injector coming for it, so we'll see if we do that today. I think they Ubered them home. Try to get it back to them sooner this time. We'll see. Well, this is the route they decided to do. We're going to try this. You do have, sometimes you have to code these and tell the computer what you put in there and etc. So we'll cross that bridge. We'll see how it runs, and we'll know we're on the right track. And then we'll go into the programming or coding if it makes it run better. Just goes right on the coil. That's cool. It'll have a minute to dry before we get to firing it up. Loosen the other side to get the line out of the way. Hold down bracket. I'm not sure how this hold down bracket is trapped in there. I might have to take the coils out of the way to slide it off. I'm not sure. Guess not. It's interesting how it's bent. I'm guessing that's the spring loaded. I didn't even get it out of my way. I think this is a tab. It goes in like this, not like that. It's almost like a brake pad shoe spring. Of course, they do make a special tool for this. Not sure if I'm going to need to get one. I don't want to damage it because I might have to put it back in, so trying to be cautious here and give it a little love on its way out, a little convincing. The tool they have hooks around the bottom of it, and it's almost like a little slide hammer action to pop it out of there. But I feel like I'm right on the edge of it releasing. We'll have to sneak up on it. Oh, that's a sleeve on the bottom of the new one. Okay. That makes more sense. This part comes off very gently. I hope. Oh, not that gently. And that thing is nasty, that's for sure. Man, that thing is on there. Looks a little different than this one. Just takes that little, you just got to get out of your comfort zone a tiny bit and it goes. So you put the hole down on first, electrical plug, fuel line, and we'll be firing this thing up. Just drop it down there and then turn it on. Turn it and pick it up. That's the theory. That's kind of how it came off. I might need to get my long pick and try that out. That's gonna work. Put this down here. Hold it in place. Now I gotta get my bolt back in. It can be tricky in this business. Two things I like to avoid when possible are buying odd specialty tools that you need once every 3 years, and walking over my toolbox if I can avoid it. That bracket's gonna compress its way down, and this bolt will bottom out. Should be ready to fire this thing up. It's gonna run rough a little bit till that fuel line fills and all that, and if it keeps running rough, we got a problem. If it goes away, we fixed it. I'm gonna cycle the key a couple times to at least get fuel in the fuel system, even if it's not, you know, pressurized. There'll be air in there. It has to purge by cycling the injector. What I definitely do have to do too is clear adaptives and that kind of thing. I got to make sure it's not leaking, and then we'll really get an idea of how it runs after that. Would you look at that son of a gun? Read fault code. No fault codes. So you'll be interested to know. Catch up. I was helping Bill with that door panel a little bit. The window regulator. Those things like a Volkswagen. Put the injector in. Cylinder 3 stopped misfiring. Still ran a little bad, and I got my check engine light, and I got a code for cylinder 1. I put one of those coils we got in. This one fixed cylinder 3. This one fixed cylinder 1. Remember, I was seeing multiple misfires. Running like a champ. I'm gonna call that a victory. And I did use the scope on this one too, not just to impress Royalty Motors. I felt like I wanted to at least see some type of computer control pattern for the coils and injectors. Cylinder 3, bad injector. Cylinder 1, bad coil, and it runs like a champ. I'll take it. We gotta button up that cover, take it for a drive, make sure this customer's happy. He spent a lot of money last time. I don't think we're even charging him for this time. Mostly because he had to wait so long last time more than anything. But 103,000 miles. It's a 2012 7 Series, if I haven't mentioned it earlier. And a love rating of somewhere between 8 and a 9. What do you guys think? The car is super nice. The only thing it needs is to have the headlights detailed a little nicer. You can sand them and re-clear coat and make them look like brand new for about 4 or 5 years. This one's done now. Not supposed to do that. Got a dead battery. 2016 Jeep Patriot. Have I told you guys I get a little sad every time I see one of these? It does have 180 something thousand miles on it. It's got no gas, check engine lights on, tire lights on, and it had a stone dead battery when I went out to it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's never been tuned up. Might not have any oil in it, who knows. We're gonna take a look around, get the scanner, see what the codes are. It's in for a no crank, and that was just a dead battery. So after turning off the vehicle, it was shuddering, which is the misfire. That's the check engine light. The gas is so low, maybe it's trying to run out of gas too. But do yourself a favor, don't go under 1/8 of a tank. Probably a quarter is, honestly, I get gas every week. Sometimes it's only 6-7 gallons, but I get gas every week. I keep my gas tank pretty full. That way it costs less to fill up each time, and I'm not getting the fuel pump hot. When the fuel is not as high as the fuel pump in the tank, then the fuel pump is exposed to the air in the tank, which is quite hot. If you've ever gotten your car when it's sat out in the parking lot, it's 150, 160 degrees. It's hotter than that in the gas tank. So if the fuel is not covering the pump, it just gets that much hotter. When the fuel starts to circulate, it'll actually cool it off, where it has a cooling effect on the pump. Just something to think about. It's actually discharging my jump box. The battery's so bad. Let's put the scanner on it before my jump box dies. Well, I chose American, even though it's really FCA, it's not American owned. I chose American anyway, because that's where it's listed. What do they know? Ooh, the phone, it's ringing. Chrysler Dodge Jeep, 16-pin connector, automatically search. Okay. Hopefully it's old enough that it's not going to make me want to join the program. Look at this. Okay. Smart scan. This is a 2016. I think it's like the last year or second to last year before you got to pay for your scan tool to work on it. Did I mention that once already? Alright, I might have. PCM, cylinder 2 misfire, catalyst efficiency, bank 1. What happens when you have a misfire and you keep driving? Eventually it literally melts your catalytic converter, and then you need that too. It never gets cheaper if you keep running it. I might mention that once or twice too, but I'm honestly trying to help people out. I don't understand it. I know money's tight for people, but you know, I make a pretty good living, and I find myself putting things back at the grocery store that I don't really need. And that's how you pay for stuff when it's wrong on your car too. You have to just put things back you don't really need. You can go without cookies and candy bars and stuff, and it won't hurt you a little, even a little. Matter of fact, it might be better. That's the dad advice for today, just so you know. There's more where that came from. I'm holding back, actually. Uh-oh, someone's been working on it. That said cylinder 2. Well, let's get us a look at cylinder 2. What do you say? We're on a roll anyway. We're fixing them left and right. Torx bit. It's a T27, I believe. Interesting. Can also pull a spark plug out and look at it. I'm gonna say that is an ignition misfire, and I think I have coils in the back, so I'm gonna pop a coil in this real quick. Well, that's a bummer. We didn't have another coil in our stash. We have a whole bunch of them, but we didn't have this one. Some of them are larger, 3 pins, some of them are 2 pins, some of them are 4. So I'm just gonna move them. That's the way I normally do it, unless it's something really common that I know I have coils for. Quick and easy way to tell is either popping one in that you have or switching them, especially on this. This is nice and easy. Not like a Nissan. Don't get it twisted. We fixed that one too. It just took a little more effort. Because Nissans are silly heads. Whew. That battery is so bad. My jump box is really mad. It was at 100%. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know you got a bad actuator. Car's got a bad everything. Poor thing. Enter. Now it might flag a code for cylinder 3 now. We already got a code for cylinder 2. I didn't clear them out. Look at this. $65 volts. Something's wrong. It's not suckers at a PCM anymore. Alright. I think we're going to have to put a battery in this thing before it gets any uglier. Let me go get a battery for it. 65.2 volts. I don't think it's real though. 11.5. It's got a bad battery and something is freaking out the PCM. Maybe it's the battery. Like I said, I'm going to get one. I just wanted to see the voltage. It's not right. I think the ECM is telling it it's that. While they're working on this estimate, I'm looking around here. I spotted a couple other things, like that belt is chewing up the wiring a little bit. Hasn't gone through it, but it's just not being nice. So let's see if I can bend this ground tab and pull the wiring harness away from the belt with it a little bit. Someone did an alternator, it looks like. This should be a little better. That went off the rails pretty quick. She didn't even want to do the battery. I'm like, why'd you bring it in? I don't know, her boyfriend's gonna fix it or something. The Honda, they changed their mind and they want to do that AC line. They were gonna get it, we had to put it outside. But we're gonna start on that. I'm not gonna be able to get it done tonight. The hose they got me was wrong, so we're gonna get the other hose. So this is the hose they got me over here, but I need the one down here from the compressor to the condenser. We're gonna pop this cover off and see if we can see the other end of that hose. I can't even see it. It might be something to get from underneath. Uh-oh. Can't see nothing. Oh boy. So you gotta do is be a little sneaky. Should be able to get my chubby little T-Rex arm in there. You can see where the hose is blowed out. It's all soggy. I'm not gonna open it up yet though. I'm gonna break the fittings loose and leave it. We're starting to get some rain and stuff, and the part's not gonna be here till first thing in the morning. I don't want it to sit overnight open. Then you get the condenser will get saturated. The dryer is built into the condenser, which does have quite a tweak in it over here, but I don't see a leak on it. So hopefully that's okay. I know the hose is blown out for sure. That is not coolant. That is from the hose. It's pretty bad. Everything else looks dry, condenser and stuff, so I just wanted to lift it up real quick and see. We're fixing to start closing up, guys. So I'll thank you for watching today's video. Hope you got something from it. Maybe you'll torque the like button before you head out. A day in the shop is done for the day. Hope I see you in the next video. It's gonna be Friday. You're awesome. And that is not bad. You can buy both sets of bits for $935.